Hello everyone. So let us take a look at this question on the community. Now the question is about measuring waiting time per issue type in Jira workflow. Now I will not really read the whole question, but I'll try to summarize the question and give you my thoughts on this. I mean, I'm not really going to um, talk about how to do it because we there are different ways of doing it, like calculating and measuring time. But the question is, let us say you have a workflow, something like this, where you have 4 5 different statuses: backlog, to do, in progress, testing done. Now when you go from one status to another status, then of course the issue will be there in this particular status for a while, let us say for 2 days or 3 days, and then you also want to move it from to do to in progress, from in progress to testing, and so on. Now the question, I believe, is about how to calculate this time. Now this can of course be done. This, first of all, we have to understand that this information is actually there in the history, change history manager of the issue. So when you go to the history tab, you can always find out like like there is a time log, or basically there is a, based on the transitions that you are doing, you have this information in the history. And by the way, the app that I built, Stay on Top, can also give you this information, because I do have this metric called uh, for how long have been this issue in this particular status. So the thing is that this information is there in the issue, and you can fetch it maybe using an app, or maybe you can you can do it using maybe Scrivener for Jira, create a calculated field, or maybe use an app. There are different apps, but I wanted to talk about something different. Also you can create your own report, maybe within Jira using EasyBI, also outside Jira using REST API. You can pull this information and dump it somewhere. Now, because I'm a consultant, as a good consultant, my first job is to make sure that I challenge people who are requesting these kind of customizations, for example. Now, so we know that this information can be fetched. What I'm mostly interested in is to understand how this particular information will be used. Now, when we say waiting time, I guess it's more about understanding if the issue has been blocked, or maybe if we have to figure out for a specific sprint, or maybe within a project, if we have to figure out how many issues are there that are in a specific state for too long. Now, this can happen when, I think mainly there are two things that can happen, or this can happen due to two reasons. Number one, indeed there is something which is blocking, and that is why the issue is there in that particular status, or people are not operating Jira. So to give you an example, let us say you have like a Scrum based approach, and you're following sprints every day. You are supposed to, if you're following Scrum, or you can call it whatever you want, but every day you're supposed to do those regular catch up, stand up meetings, Scrum meetings, where you basically ask everyone in your team, how is everything? Are you doing well? Something is blocking you. What are you going to do tomorrow? Now, during that meeting, you should basically look at the burn down chart, because the burn down chart will tell you the progress on a timeline. So if your actual is way beyond your baseline, for example, let us take a look at one of the burn down charts. So this red line is the actual line, and it should ideally follow your gray line or somewhat near it. If you see this red line going straight for a while, it means that the thing is that you don't have to wait for the very last moment to update your Jira issues, or basically not even Jira issues. Basically you don't have to wait for the very last minute to unblock something. So this burn down chart, I believe, when you open it in your daily calls, is a very good opportunity to unblock those items. Other thing that you can do is, and by the way, because this burn down is going to be based on the story points that you burn or issues that you resolve, depending upon what kind of information you want to see here. For example, this is based on the issue count. Now, using EasyBI, you can build your own version of the burn down, because maybe your definition of making progress is something different. Maybe you want to exclude some of those issues that are blocked or something similar. So that is always an option. But I think the native out of the box, I always say this, try to use Jira as much as you can with all the features it has to offer. And don't just install apps for the sake of it. Now, the report that is going to also give you really wonderful information about the blocked items, or basically why issues are there in a specific state for a long time, can be done. This information can be fetched using cumulative flow diagram. If you look at this diagram, the whole idea of this cumulative flow diagram is to understand if the issues are in a specific status for too long. For example, if you see here, there are a lot of issues that are to do. So basically this is like a flat line. Ideally, this flat line shouldn't be there. You should try to see more of your purple. Is it purple color? I guess it is purplish, bluish color, whatever color it is. I don't know all the colors, but yeah, it is like a bluish, purplish color. It should basically grow. So if there is a flat line, it means that nothing happened from December 16th till 1st of April. I mean, this is of course really a bad example because we are looking at this information based on a project and between these two dates on top. Now, good thing about this report is that you can always filter it, and you can do few things here, like you can select these options, what you want to see here or what you don't want to see here. Now the thing is that this cumulative flow diagram along with burned on chart will give you a lot of opportunities to unblock. So let us say even if you calculate these, so going back to the question, okay, let us say we are able to calculate waiting time, like somehow, maybe using an app, maybe you can do it in your report. What exactly are you going to do with it? Are you going to punish your developers? I guess not, because we are the whole idea of working together is to help each other. And I don't really think we should use this metric to. This metric shouldn't be used as a KPI for individuals. I mean, it should be used to take decisions, but you can anyways do that with the help of these reports. I mean, I'm just trying to give you an idea. Like even if you have this metric in front of you, like for a specific issue, the waiting time was this. I mean, because we do have similar metrics like lead time, cycle time, and this information is usually used to understand as a whole how long are we taking to deliver something. For example, if we talk about cycle time, basically from the beginning till the end, are we able to deliver this particular epic within 2 days or 3 days or something similar. So it will give you an idea, like your managers, people who are planning, especially release managers, because they are responsible for releasing and they have to take a decision based on okay, so last time we did something similar and it took us to deliver something similar maybe 3 months or 2 months, and that can be done using not just because one epic will have stories will have tasks. Maybe you can do this cycle time for higher levels. So you would need this information, I guess. I mean, this can be useful, but what I'm trying to say is that even if you don't have any app, don't worry too much about a metric like waiting time. Focus on unblocking things. Focus on how you can resolve those on-hold items by staying on top of your sprint. And yes, I'm talking about my app, but no, I'm not really saying that install my app. I mean, you can, because it will give you this information. I mean, a bit of it, but you don't really need an app, to be honest, for this. I mean, unless you're doing something with this metric somewhere. And in that case, of course, definitely go for the app or build your own report. And that is it. That is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new. Thank you very much. Bye bye.